Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. Today I'm going to be talking to a man who spends most of his time organising one of the Midlands' largest charity fun runs, raising thousands of pounds for charities here in the West Midlands, Tracey Spare. Also joining me today is Zoe Pennick, top fashion stylist who works across the UK and specialises in women with curves and has a very exciting fashion event to tell us all about. My first guest is a man who works tirelessly as the events director for a huge charity fun run that takes place every year. Open to everyone and raising money for charities here in the West Midlands, let's welcome Tracey Spare. Tracey, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Wonderful to see you. Great to see you've got your little fun run badge flying there, which is great.
New logo this year.
Absolutely, yeah, I was going to say new logo, it was great.
Yeah.
So Tracey, just tell us a little bit about how you got involved. You're an events director. How long have you been doing that?
I've been involved since the event was first started in 1982, known as the Royal Sutton Fun Run. It then changed to the Great Midlands Fun Run in 2003. But I took over as the events director in 1991 after my father died in 1990, who'd previously been the events director.
So it's very much a family affair.
Yeah. My brother and I were out on the first event delivering tables and cups and sponges to the drink station. So it's been a family affair since.
Is that what got you involved, do you think? Because your dad did it and you were so involved from the very beginning?
Yes, he and I were very close, and so I was involved in a lot of charity events that he was involved in the early days, whether it was Cub Scouts, school, and it just matured into the fun run.
So tell us about this fun run then, Tracey.
It basically is a vehicle for people to raise money for a charity or voluntary organisation of their choice.
So any charity, it doesn't have to be cancer or Alzheimer's or any charity.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it? Because usually you have fun runs and they do it for one particular charity, don't they? So is that why yours is different?
I think it's one of the unique aspects and why people are keen to do it, because they can support a charity or a voluntary group that is close to their hearts rather than being dictated to. So we just say yes. I mean, we try to encourage it to stay within the Midlands, but obviously if people have got a particular leaning to an organisation elsewhere, that's fine. And
do you find that the money does stay in the West Midlands?
The majority of it does, yes, and where possible we support the local branch of a national charity. So if it's Save the Children, we'll support the national, the local branch in the Midlands.
Oh, that's great. And so how do people get involved with it? I understand this year though, is it full? Is that right?
Yeah,
you're full to capacity?
Full with 7,000 again.
I mean, that's incredible. And when is the fun run going to be?
31st of May, so it's a Sunday at the end of the sort of traditional Whitsun week. Okay,
so 31st of May, but it's full.
It is.
So, and how quickly did that fill up?
46 days.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And what was that, did that surprise you, or is that what normally happens?
We've been full for the last 6 years, and the last couple of years we've been closed before the sort of traditional calendar date that we'd set. So the popularity is great, and I never take it for granted, but we've got 83 dogs, 1,200 juniors, they're 14 and under, and then the rest of the adults. But we've also got the Wolverhampton bobsled team coming around again,
fantastic.
So they'll be bringing their world record sled round, and the West Midlands Fire Service will be putting around a fire appliance.
So again, you see, so it's not, so yeah, tell us, expand on that a bit. So people think fun run, people just running, but actually it's a bit more than that. You can do whatever.
Absolutely, yeah, fancy dress, or if they want to pull around a vehicle or carry something around. Cooks, who are one of the main Cooks Furniture, they're going to be carrying around inflatable furniture this year.
Oh, so, and they're one of your sponsors, are they?
Yeah, they're one of the main sponsors.
I mean, again, so do you think that's the appeal then, Tracey? Because, I mean, you did sign up, everybody signed up so quickly. Is the part of the appeal just what you've been explaining now? It's
always been promoted as a fun run, and it always will be. It'll never be a race. So I think the fact that it's open to anybody of any age or ability, and we actively encourage people with disabilities and they help us to participate, I'm sure that the fact that it has this community flavour to it, I think that is a real appeal, in addition to obviously being able to raise money for a particular choice, charity of the choice or voluntary group. And
do you see yourself continuing to do the role that you're doing?
For a few more years,
yes.
And providing the local authority will allow us to continue to close the roads.
And can it be handed down to your...
There's
anybody in your family?
No, I don't think the dog can do that.
No.
No,
One
I've got
was right.
no children, so
No.
we'll see where it goes from there. But
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah, health permitting, yes, a few more years, yeah.
So where is it actually going to be? Where is it held? It's held in Royal Sutton Coldfield,
It
isn't
is,
it?
yeah.
So where does it start?
We start and finish in the town centre, and we take in 4.5 miles of the Sutton Park.
Right.
But we do have closed roads, so it's very safe for everybody. And we anticipate there's about 40,000 spectators around the course, and it's growing every year. But it's lovely because we can take people through what is a fabulous resource in Sutton Park, and people enjoy running along closed roads as well. And the residents enjoy it because they all come out and they have picnics and they'll have drinks ready for people and jelly beans, whatever, to hand around.
Yeah, so it's a real sort of family affair, really, isn't it?
It's great, although saying that, we've got people literally travelling from all over the country to participate, and including somebody from the Republic of Ireland this year.
Really?
So it has got a wide appeal. I'm sure the people that do travel from Cornwall, Torquay, the North East have got some sort of connection to the town. But it's great that they take that opportunity and come back and visit.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound a unique run, actually. Now you've described it. Well, obviously, I've learned a little bit about it, but just talking to you, there is definitely a uniqueness about it. Would you like to see that continue, Tracey? Do you think that's the way it's always going to be?
Certainly, as long as I'm involved, yes, because it has that uniqueness about it. I mean, I don't know any other event in the country where you get a team of West Midland or firefighters putting around fire plants. I mean, it's 8.5 tonnes. So, you know, there's a fair weight to pull around
We'll
there.
have to get them on Cuppa TV.
Yeah,
after
well, I'm
they've
sure
done it.
they, well, yes, yeah. But they do it in rota, so they've got
Yeah.
a team of about 20, 24 guys pulling, and there's usually about 8 at a time pulling it around.
And presumably they're raising funds for the
They're
fire
raising money for
service?
their firefighter
Yes.
charity, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
So.
Again, I think the appeal, because you can raise funds for any charity or voluntary organisation, you said, so it doesn't have to be a charity. So give us some examples of West Midland charities that it's helped, or you know it's helped.
I mean, in Walsall you have like St Giles Hospice, Acorns Hospice, Birmingham Children's Hospice is obviously a popular one. We've also got the Cancer Support Centre in Sutton Coldfield as a local one, Breast Friends in Sutton Coldfield. Cancer Research UK is a popular one.
Yes.
This year Teenage Cancer Trust is particularly popular, I think, for two reasons. One, Arthur Terry School has chosen as that its charity, so their team of 170 will be raising funding for that. We've also got Jane Sutton, Stephen's mum, who's going to start the event and participate.
Oh, how fantastic.
And I think that there's been that sort of wave of support
Yes.
continued. So
I mean, there was masses of thousands of pounds raised with the appeal for Stephen Sutton. So, I mean, that was just an incredible amount of money that was raised.
yeah,
So.
I mean, last year Stephen was due to participate last year. Unfortunately, he died on the 14th of May, so he wasn't able, obviously, to participate. But we had everybody put the thumbs up at the start last year, and obviously with Jane being there this year, I'm sure we'll have that repeated this year.
That'll be quite moving as well, I would have thought.
Yes, I think it's going to be a very emotional day.
I should imagine so. And so you've got all those lovely charities supporting the West Midlands. So how do you see the future of it? Do you think it's just going to continue? I know you've said it's not going to change all the time that you're at the helm.
We're at capacity now because of the nature of the course, and I don't want people to go away feeling that they've not enjoyed the event.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Can it get any bigger? I mean, you signed up 700 runners?
7,000.
7,000, sorry. So 7,000 runners. Could it go to another
We're probably at
1,000?
maximum. No,
Are
we're
you?
probably there. We would have to make changes to the course, particularly at the finish. But because part of the course at the start and finish is the same, we've literally got to get everybody out before the first runners come back in. But because we can have good club runners who are around in 40, 45
Yes.
minutes,
Yeah.
and the last people will come home after about 3 hours. So it's a long time, but it's important that people enjoy the day and go away with a good feeling,
Yeah.
because they'll be great ambassadors for the event.
Yes, absolutely. So even though you can't sign up for it anymore, people can still come and support you.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
what can they do? Tell us how they can
They
support.
can obviously come along on the day. If they've got family or friends, they can obviously sponsor the family or friends. They want to make donations, they can go via the website and do that. Obviously, we'd love to see them in the town on the day. We're usually blessed with good weather.
Yes, fingers crossed.
So we've had 12 dry runs so far
That's
since
incredible.
2003.
Which does make a difference, let's
It's
be
a
honest.
huge difference because at that time of year, invariably, it's reasonably nice weather, and people are in a much better spirits and happier
Yes.
mood.
Yeah.
The pubs do very well along the
Yes, I
route as
should
well.
imagine, yes. Again, because it's a fun run, it's not a race, as you've said, right at the very beginning. People can just take their time as well.
Absolutely. There's no compulsion to get round in a certain amount of time. Everybody receives the same commemorative medal, which is, again, sponsored by Cook's Furniture, which is a lovely, specially minted medal each year. So there's no compulsion to be around at any particular time. Will they be there at the finish? We just try to encourage people not to stop too often for a picnic in the park.
Yes.
But there's a few that do stop for an ice cream.
So you can start and then stop and then just start again. It could be a whole day doing that.
Yeah, but the residents wouldn't be too chuffed because we've got to reopen the roads at 3 o'clock.
And people travel from all over Ireland,
yeah,
all over.
yeah,
You've
yeah,
just
yeah.
said.
We've got
it's
a
gonna be
very
incredible.
good breadth of entrance this year, right across from all parts of the country.
Well, that's incredible. Well, Tracey, it's been absolutely wonderful to meet you. Thank you
Pleasure.
so much.
Thank you.
And I hope people, even though they can't take part, but they can still donate and support what's going to be obviously a fantastic event. And I hope you have good weather.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank
Pleasure.
you. Before we go to the break, if you'd like to support the Great Midlands Fun Run, you can sponsor a participant, come down on the day, bring a picnic and have a good family day out. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. My next guest is a top fashion stylist who has worked at London Fashion Week and is passionate about celebrating women with curves. Here today to talk to us about her life and an exciting fashion event, we welcome Zoe Pennick. Zoe, thank you very much for coming. Welcome to Cuppa TV.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's just wonderful for you to be here. And we're going to talk fashion.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I'm already
We've
celebrating.
already done the shoes, so we're
Shoes.
good.
I think we'll have a shot on the shoes after. So Zoe, tell us about what you do. First of all, how did you get to become a fashion stylist?
Oh God, it's pretty crazy because I actually studied law at uni. But when I left, I just decided I wanted to get into media and kind of go backwards a little bit. So I just kind of started doing internships, and I happened to do one at a plus size fashion magazine, and I spent a few years there and I worked my way up, made fashion editor, and then after a couple of years decided to set up by myself. So I do personal styling, editorial styling, catwalks, that kind of thing, but I do it all under my own name now.
Oh, fantastic. So when did you set up your own business?
Oh my God, nearly 2 years ago, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you enjoying it? Enjoying being your own boss?
Oh God, definitely. Yeah. Like, if I don't
'Cause
want to get
women
up, I
rock.
don't have to get up. Yeah. No, it's brilliant. It's so much fun, and
Yeah.
because I do so many different things. One day I can be dressing someone for an award ceremony or dressing someone for an album cover, and another day I'm in the Trafford Centre and I've got someone that's like lost a bit of weight and wants to dress for their shape and that. So it's brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Every day's
again,
different.
every day's different.
Yeah.
And you've said you're passionate about celebrating women with
Definitely,
curves.
yeah.
Do you think that's really important? There's been so much about that in the press recently, hasn't there?
Yeah, I think I was really lucky. When I started up, the media was just grabbing on to kind of like this whole concept of plus size women and curvy women. And obviously that was what my background was in. So I was really fortunate that I've kind of been able, as the media's got more interest in it, my business has kind of gone up in that.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it is one of them where more and more mainstream brands and retailers are kind of stepping, aside from the size 0 and using what, some people say real women, but it's just women of all different shapes and sizes.
And do you think that's important? Because the fashion industry is notoriously size 0. We hear all the time, and and you go into designer shops and everything looks like it wouldn't fit anything. Is it important that they focus perhaps on the real women now? And do you think they're actually moving towards that, designing clothes for real women?
Definitely, yeah. And it's one of them where more and more magazines and high street retailers, their models are no longer a size 0, and some people make a big splash out of it, and certain brands and magazines have just adapted it as the norm, which is kind of the right way to go about it. It's not about having two separate entities, it's about meshing it all together.
That's a very good point, actually, because there's been a lot of focus on it. And do you think that could be a detrimental thing to it?
It does have pros and cons to it. It's one of them where London Fashion Week is never going to have a plus size section. However, they, along with all other fashion weeks, they do embrace models that aren't necessarily a size 0 and that are a size 10, 12, 14, 16, they are starting to embrace it and make it the norm. And I think that's kind of where it's got to go. The same with plus size collections. More and more retailers aren't doing separate collections. They're starting at a size 6 and they're going all the way up to a size 28. Or plus size collections although their plus size sizes are actually based on their mainstream collections, and that's the way it should really be. It's about, you know, making sure that plus size fashion becomes fashionable.
Yes,
and
actually that's
kind of
quite a good statement,
yeah,
isn't it?
Definitely.
Plus size fashion becomes fashionable.
Which is kind of what this event is about, and
yes.
that's kind of what we've run with that.
Yeah, so what made you, I mean, you do individuals,
yeah.
you work with shows, various different things. What made you decide to think, that's it, I'm going to do a show? And it's going to be called the Curve Fashion Festival.
Yep, that's right.
And it's in September.
Yeah, 26th of September.
26th of September. And where's it going to be held?
Manchester Central.
Okay.
So massive arena for it.
Yes.
Basically, it was an idea I came up with a few years ago on a shoot, and excuse me. Basically, it's just trying to get the time to do it. Every year something happens, and this is the first year in my life where I'm like, right, okay, nothing is going to happen. No one get married, no one start a business. Let's run with this event.
Fantastic.
And that's kind of what I've done. So yeah.
And so you had the idea presumably from your background.
Yes.
And then you thought, right, I'm going to do a festival. So how's it going to work? Is there going to be fashion shows? Tell us how it's going to work.
Definitely. So it's kind of broken up into 3 sections. So we've got 2 fashion catwalk shows. One is like high street and online retailers, and one is just independent designers and boutiques. And then we've got the Fashion Exchange Hall, where we're expecting well over 50 retailers from all over the world to come and showcasing custom-built pop-up shops. And then the big draw is we've got an auditorium which seats 800 people, and we're going to be holding 2 Fashion Insider seminars. We've got some big names already, and we've signed the editor of Slink magazine, Rifki. She's actually going to be hosting the Q&A. We've got plus size Brazilian supermodel Flu Vilacada is flying in from New York for the event. So we're expecting a lot of media and press attention for that. So it's kind of a combination between clothes show, Vogue Festival and London Fashion Week.
Yeah, but isn't that great to put all those together?
Yeah.
You know, I think that when you put sort of things together, I think that will appeal to everybody. Do you? As well as, you know, the sort of people who, if you like, the normal woman, if that's the correct thing to say. Somebody who's just goes to work every day and thinks, you know, actually, this is really of interest to me.
Definitely.
So they can go. Now, how do they go about? What do they do to go to your event?
Yes, the tickets are on sale from our website on April the 29th, and then you'll be able to buy them from like the sponsors and the retailers, and we'll be promoting it in regional newspapers as well as like national media outlets. So there'll be various options, but the biggest one will be our own website. But yeah, it is kind of, we want, basically, a lot of women come to me and they say, oh, I don't know where to shop, or, you know, a lot of stuff's online and I can't try it on. And this is like, you know, a one-day event once a year to bring everyone together and to say, right, you know, you can try stuff on, and these are actually the outlets that are available to you. Because a lot of designers, you know, especially plus size, they're small, they're boutiques, you know, it's a chance for them to get their name out there, for their businesses to expand. We've got a bridal section, you know, so it really is trying to cover all aspects. We're making a full day of it, you know, champagne bar, pop-up afternoon tea restaurant, you know, so people can kind of come and fully embrace it, and mixed with fashion shows, because it is obviously 3 days after London Fashion Week finishes, which is a big thing for us. So it gives brands that can't showcase at London Fashion Week the chance to showcase their upcoming collection and still have media attention and still feel like they're part of the buzz that is created by Fashion Week as well.
Is that why you did it in that particular date?
Yes,
because it just
definitely.
Yes. It backs on
I
that.
thought it was a great idea, and then the PR team were like, "Oh my God, you're mad!"
What have you done?
Yeah.
Look at this.
So I'm like, "Oh, it's fine."
But that'd be good though, because you've, you know, the fashion will be in the news. You know,
It's
got,
exactly
you know,
that,
so,
definitely.
So what are your expectations though? What do you want to come out of that show?
I just kind of want it to be recognised as like a mainstream event. The idea is, you know, we've started really big for our first year, which is a really bold and brave step, but we've got some great people on board. You know, we've got one of the creative directors for New York Fashion Week, Jane Bellis. She is actually our creative director for our fashion shows. So, you know, with early doors, we managed to get some great names on board. So yeah, we just want it to be recognised. We want it to be an event that although starts off big, will just get bigger. And you know, I want longevity for it. I see it going on for long term, and not to just be a one-off that, oh God, remember that great event and they never did it again.
Yes.
Or, you know, I want it to run long term.
And would you like to do it in other countries as well?
Do you know, I get asked this a lot.
Yes.
I concentrate on this one for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're already giving you another baby.
Yes. So, but who knows, like in 5 years' time, I might be like, right, okay, this is kind of, I'm done with this one, let's move on, and we'll see where it goes.
But I mean, it sounds like it's just going to be an incredible event.
I hope so.
And then with your cousin, tell us just about what you're doing at the moment. So obviously you're organising that, which I should think is taking an awful lot of your time. But what are you working on at the moment?
So I'm actually doing a clothing range with my brother, actually, funny enough.
Great.
So it's nothing to do, it's not a women's clothing range. It's like a unisex, like graphic designs, that kind of thing, because that's what he does. So that's called LDS Clothing, and we're in the middle of launching that. So we've had photo shoots, and so that's pretty.
Because you haven't got anything else to do.
I know.
Let's launch a clothing line.
So that's kind of where I'm at now, and then obviously I still do like editorial and personal styling. Obviously we've just had award season, so that's always busy. Whether it be writing and blogging or actually dressing people. And then I think for me the next step is something I'd like to do the beginning of next year, future-wise, is to start my own curve model agency. So that would be like the next step for me. Yeah, so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed you can do all that.
Yeah.
And I think I mean, you've got so much going on.
Yeah.
Busy businesswoman, which is fantastic. Is there one thing that is going to always remain core and meaningful to you, though, Zoe? If you had to pick one thing that you thought, I'm never going to change, like the ethos of your business, it's never going to change. Are you always going to support the plus
I
women
think
side?
that's it. I think I get asked to do, you know, mainstream and certain designers and that, and I have no problems in doing it. At the end of the day, I'm a size 8. There's no way of getting around it. I walk into a room and people go, oh, we was expecting someone plus size, and I'm not. It's just kind of a skill that, you know, I've honed in on and I've excelled in over the years.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I think I'll always work in plus size. I really enjoy it. So
that's great. Well, so it's been fantastic to meet you. Thank you so much, and come back and tell us about the show before it launches.
You can come to the event.
Love to. Thank you so much. It's been really lovely to meet you. That's it for today. Thank you to my guests, Tracey Spare and Zoe Pennick, for joining me. And thank you for watching Cuppa TV. If you would like to get in touch, you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV, or you can email the show. Come back and see us soon. Bye-bye.